Sis.
And I'm Tiffany, and we're the hosts of Legit Kid Lit, a video series where we get to see into the secret and silly lives of authors and illustrators.
We love to celebrate and promote books, but most of all, we want to say hey to all you readers out there trying to find that right book for you. We hope that you can find some new reads after today.
There are so many incredible books, authors, and illustrators we couldn't possibly name them all, but we're here to share in some book love today.
Legit Kidlit fans. My name is Kim Ventrella, and I am the author of several books for middle grade readers, including the ones behind me, The Secret Life of Sam. But today, for the Friendsgiving episode, I wanted to give a huge shout out to one of my friends, the amazing middle grade author, Janet Fox. Now, Janet is author of the award-winning fantasy novel, The Charmed Children of Rookskill Castle, and now a companion novel that just came out recently called The Artifact Hunters. This story is all about the main character, Isaac Wolf, who grows up in Prague during World War II, except he's sent on this dangerous mission through time to collect various artifacts, all from different eras, to find the meaning of this mysterious pendant he's been given, and also to defeat an evil that is perhaps even more dangerous than the war. And fans of The Charmed Children of Rookskill Castle will be excited because the castle and the characters who live there make an appearance in this book. I don't want to give too much away, but for anyone who enjoys Indiana Jones-style treasure hunts, historical fiction, fantasy, truly devious villains, and friends who are able to come together to defeat the most ominous of evils, you will enjoy The Artifact Hunters by Janet Fox. Thanks for watching and happy Friendsgiving!
Hi, my name is Remy and I'm an author and illustrator, and today I'm going to talk to you about a book that I didn't write. This book that I read recently is Mooney, Paranormal Investigator by Mueller. So this is a great book. It is in a rather unusual format because it looks like a graphic novel, sort of, but it also looks a little bit, I would say, like a picture book, and it is about this Mooney here and here. He's a paranormal investigator, and his heart is actually outside of his body. And so there are ghosts in this book. It's a little bit spooky, and it's also a lot of fun. The art is just gorgeous, and it's also hilarious. And yeah, I hope you check it out. Bye!
Hello, I'm Chris Barron. I'm the author of this middle grade novel and verse called All of Me, and another book coming out in June called The Magical and Perfect. But I'm here today to talk about some books I love, all the books on my shelves. But I don't have time for that. So let me focus a little bit on two books that my family loves and that I love. The first one is this book, The Queen Bee and Me, from Gillian McDunn. This is a friendship story that really touches the heart and is a lot of fun. Because there's two friends, Meg and Beatrix, and Beatrix is kind of the friend who always has to be in charge. But when a new girl named Hazel comes to town with an interest in bees, things really change. And it's just a story about how friendships have to change sometimes as we learn to get our own voice and say what we need to say on our own. And then this other book my family loves is called Any Day With You by Mayor Spezio. And we love it because my girls are Filipino and they both love this story, and it's all about Kaya, who lives at the beach. She spends a lot of time with her grandfather, who tells her all kinds of stories about the Philippines and these folk tales. And it's just beautifully written and so enjoyable. And when the grandfather has to go back to the Philippines, she will do anything to keep him from going. So these two books are my quick recommendations. Really, really fun, not that long. Read them over break. Thank you. Happy reading.
Happy Friendsgiving, everyone. My name is Janet McCurry, author of A Little Wicked and A Little Noble, both set in Scotland in the 1690s, middle grade historical fiction. I want to thank Legit Kid Lit for the opportunity to thank my friend Kitty Feldy for her book, Welcome to Washington, Fina Mendoza. The thing that stands out for me the most about this wonderful middle grade mystery is how Kitty has used her own experiences living and working in Washington to give you an insider's feel of Washington and the Capitol building, and the mystery of the demon cat will keep you turning pages for sure. So have a great holiday, everybody, and stay safe.
662233446. Now you try to talk.
Okay, my name is S.G. Wilson, author of Me vs. the Multiverse. Pleased to meet me. But I wanted to recommend this book, We're Not From Here, by Jeff Rodkey. A lot of people don't think about science fiction and comedy as being able to tackle serious issues, but this is a really great example of a book that does just that, because it's about humanity having to flee Earth and become immigrants, and they're looking for a new home. So aliens kind of agree to take them in and then sort of change their mind, and the humans have to convince them to, let them stay. It comes down to this one boy who uses the power of comedy. Well, actually, I won't ruin that part. It's also very funny, and all the alien races are very interesting, so I'd highly recommend it. And I'd recommend his other books too, so okay.
Hi, I'm Donna Higuera, and I want to give a book thank you to my friend Aida Salazar, who wrote the book, The Moon Within. And I thought of all the books that I've read this year and the one that had the most impact on me and I would have enjoyed having the most as a child. And I think that Sally, the main character, is someone I would have related to at that age. And there are parts of this book that are just so important and need to be told. And I'm so thankful to Aida for writing this book. I had a situation when I was a kid and getting my first bra, not knowing that I wasn't supposed to step out into the department store to show my mother and sister and gain their approval. There's a scene in this that for some reason reminded me of that and just made me laugh, but this book is a comfortable place for kids to read about themselves. But let me read from that scene. "Ah, mija, I love it," she screams for the whole house to hear. I clutch at the new bra she bought me, roller coaster twisted onto my chest. The straps are tangled. Let me fix it. Shh, 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 mama. I whisper hard. As she untangles, she calls for Papi. Amor, come see how well this bra fits Sally. She shakes her head like she doesn't believe it. It's amazing. Just look at this muchachita. Está floreciendo. I hear Juju and Papi's steps approach. Their footfalls, a growing, heated pounding in my head. I contort into a pretzel. Inside that shrinking closet. Mima, no. Quieta, there's nothing to be ashamed of, Sally. It's cause for celebration. What? What's a celebration? Papi asks. Breasts. Our girl is growing breasts. Mima's high pitch sears my ears. Awesome, Juju chimes in. When I'm 11, will I grow some too? I just love the humor of this and want to thank Aida for writing this and putting these things in a comfortable space for kids.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Kamicha. I'm the author of The Memory Keeper that came out on October 15, 2019. And I'm here to recommend the book Wrong Way Summer by Heidi Lang. I loved this book so much that I lent it out. So I'm going to read the description from the website. According to Claire's dad, every day is a grand adventure. There might be a spaceship buried in the backyard, or a ghost in the basement, or a troll king who spies through the pipes. Claire used to love these stories, especially tales about her long absent mom. But now that she's 12, Claire is tired of all the fantasy and just wants to know the truth. So when her dad sells their house and moves the family into a converted van, she refuses to embrace the latest grand adventure, despite her little brother's excitement. Why did they really leave home? And where are they going? Without answers, Claire is faced with a choice. Will she play along with the stories her dad is spinning, or will she force her family to face reality once and for all? Equal parts heartwarming and heartbreaking, Wrong Way Summer is a road trip journey and coming-of-age story about one girl's struggle to understand when a lie is really a lie and when it's something more, hope. And I love this author's books in general. She has another one out, Whispering Pines, that's super scary, but I really especially loved this book, Wrong Way Summer. I could relate to the main character, and I think anyone who has that dynamic of a younger brother and just traveling, any kind of a road trip, and this, especially this road trip where they're living in their van. I just thought she did such a good job, and I really recommend it. Thank you.
Hi everybody, my name is Ernesto Cisneros, and I'm the author of Ref and Divided, and I'm here today because I want to talk to you guys about this fantastic book. It's called Operation Frog Effect, and it's by far my favorite thriller book ever. As a reader, I'm a fan, and I love it. As an author, I'm a fan, and I love it. I'm also a little jealous of it. You know why? Because Operation Frog Effect is written in not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, but get this, 8 different points of views. That's right, you heard me correct. 8 different points of views. And every single character, man, you're going to fall in love with every single one of them. The stories, it has everything. If you've ever had a teacher that you really cared about, that made a big impact in your own life, this is the book for you. It's a book that's super important. It tackles things, issues about friendship, bullying, immigration, women's rights, access to education, poverty, homelessness, standing up for what you believe in, having a sense of community, building that community. It is just absolutely amazing. So it's going to warm your heart. It's also going to get you motivated to want to go make a difference in the world. And it's also going to make you laugh a lot too. So if you're looking for the perfect book, this is it. Again, 8 different point of views. I know, right? Yeah. Anyways, this is the book. So if next time your teacher takes you to the library and you're looking for something amazing to read, don't forget to ask your librarian for Operation Frog Effect. See you there at the library.
I'm Tara Gilboy, and I am the author of the book Unwritten and then the sequel Rewritten, but I'm not here to talk about my books today. I'm actually here to talk about a book called Ollie Oxley and the Ghost, which is by Lisa Schmidt, and it is one of my favorite books that I've read this year. And I think the reason that I like it so much is because it has a lot of history to it. There's a lot of history about California and the gold rush and a missing treasure. But it also has a ghost story. And in fact, Ollie is a boy who moves to a new town and ends up making best friends with someone who maybe just happens to be a ghost. And so it has some of my favorite elements because I love history and I love ghost stories. And so this just kind of brings the best of both worlds. And it's also written by Lisa Schmidt, who I got to meet and is probably one of the absolute nicest people in the whole world. So this is a great book, and I hope that you guys like it as much as I do. Thank you so much for having me. Happy Friendsgiving.
Alexis and Tiffany, thank you for inviting me to this Friendsgiving episode of Legit Kid Lit. Legit Kid Lit. I love that name. Don't ever change it. I'm surrounded by a few of my favorite things. Books, of course. My favorite faux fur throw. Keeps me warm in upstate New York. And my favorite painting, a copy of it anyway. That's Norman Rockwell's The Problem We All Live With, depicting living legend Ruby Bridges, living legend, integrating schools in my home state of Louisiana. Now on to the writer that I am thankful for this season. Among many, I am thankful for Vashti Harrison. She is the illustrator for my debut novel, Love Like Sky, which features G-Baby and her baby sister Peaches as they deal with their blended family. Look at that artwork. Kids love Georgie. I've had girls style their hair like Georgie. Thank you, Vashti, for this artwork. And I'm doubly blessed because with Little Brown this summer, July 6th, I'm fortunate to have a companion book that will publish featuring, again, Vashti's artwork. Look at that. Thank you, Vashti. Thank you for your talent. Continued success. And thank you for hosting me, Tiffany and Alexis. Take care, everyone, and stay safe. Bye-bye.
To all our wonderful readers, we hope you enjoyed our show and are inspired now to pick up some new and exciting books. See you next week, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button.